What's up, man? It's your man Dray, Sports Way with Dray podcast, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own. And listen, y'all know I barely do these videos. I do them once in the blue. I guess you could say I hardly come outside, but on this one, definitely had to come outside for this one. The Final Four is going down tonight, okay? Tonight, the Final Four is going down, okay? We got South Carolina going up against North Carolina State. And of course, in the main event, we got Iowa going up against UConn, which is going to be dope. First off, let me just say this. Congratulations to all four teams. South Carolina, North Carolina State, UConn, and Iowa. You know, the tournament started with about 60 plus teams, and now we are down to the Final Four. This is going to be one for the ages. I cannot wait. I'm excited. Listen, I got South Carolina winning. Let's just get that out the way. I got South Carolina going to the national title game. With all due respect to North Carolina State, they have had themselves an amazing season. The men and the women. To have both their teams go on the runs that they went on to advance to the Final Four and have both programs there, nothing but amazing. But I think the run ends tonight with South Carolina. I do believe it's going to be a catfight between them and South Carolina, but I just think South Carolina just has too much power. Too much. You know, whether it's from Cardozo on defense, hopefully Pow can make her three-pointers. Unfortunately, she didn't make them in the Elite Eight. Hopefully she does it this game. Of course, you still got the freshman sensation, Flowally. Hopefully, you know, Raven Johnson makes her threes. Just remember, last year, Iowa disrespected her when it came to shooting threes. They didn't even defend her. They can't do it. North Carolina State won't be able to do what Iowa did last year. They're going to have to defend her because she can make them threes. Listen, I just think South Carolina just has too much, and I think South Carolina will end this thing tonight, and they will head to the national title game on Sunday. But the big game that everybody is talking about, which is crazy to me because South Carolina right now is 36-0, right? They're 36-0. And they're not even being talked about as much this Final Four weekend. All the attention is on Iowa and UConn. Rightfully so. Now, I know they don't want to paint this as Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers. They want to paint it as Iowa versus UConn. But listen, it is what it is. When you have two transcending basketball players playing for a university, they're going to put the player's name above the school. And that's just where we're at with this when it comes to Iowa and UConn. It's UConn versus Iowa, but it's also Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers. And I cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait. They did meet before in the playoffs. I believe they met in their freshman year where UConn took the dub. I definitely remember that. I think it was 2021, the year after the pandemic, because remember, 2020, the season got shut down. 2021, they both were freshmen, and I believe they met. I forgot exactly which round it was that they met, but UConn won, long story short. We now get to this game, and the question that everybody keeps asking is, who needs this national championship more? Is it Paige or is it Caitlin Clark? Me, personally, in my honest opinion, I sat back and I thought about it. The safe answer would have to be Caitlin Clark. She needs this national championship more because she has no more chances after this. You had a chance last year. You lost to LSU. You already let it be known that you're going to the WNBA, so you're not coming back for your fifth year. You have to win this national championship. With everything that you have done this season, which has been amazing, which has been phenomenal, this is your last campaign, your last shot to win a national championship. Because you got to remember, she's broken so many records this season. Obviously, the highlight record that she broke was Pete Maravich's record for most points in a career in college. She broke that, men or women. She broke that. All these other records that she's breaking, the impact that she has put on college basketball has gotten to the point where they've put her in that GOAT conversation. Do I believe that she belongs in that conversation? No, I don't. Because I think in order for you to be in that conversation, you need to win multiple national championships. She has none. She has a chance to get one, but she don't have one yet. So I don't think that she belongs in the conversation. Now, what she's done for college basketball cannot be ignored. It's amazing. Like, she is single-handedly the biggest star in college basketball, period. Men or women. She is the biggest star right now. But do I think she belongs in the GOAT conversation? Absolutely not. Because now we're being disingenuous to Cheryl Miller. We're being disingenuous to Candace Parker. We're being disingenuous to Maya Moore, Cheryl Swoops, Breanna Stewart, who won 4 national championships at UConn and won 4 Most Outstanding Player awards. We're being disingenuous to them. Now, again, what she has done has been great, but I still don't think that she's ready to be in that GOAT conversation yet. That's just my honest opinion. But if she wins, she could be at the table. But I think right now, without you having that national championship, I think it's premature to have you in that conversation, in my honest opinion. Paige, on the other hand, she has another year because she announced that she's not going to the WNBA. She announced that she's staying for her 5th year, so she has another opportunity to win a national championship. Now, her freshman year, when they beat Iowa, they went to the national championship game, but they lost to South Carolina, which gave UConn their first ever loss in the national championship game. Prior to that, they went to 11 of them and won all 11 of them. This was the first time that they went and the confetti didn't fall on their heads. Paige has that opportunity to do that this season, and she has the opportunity again to do it next year because, again, she's coming back for her 5th year of eligibility because of COVID. But don't get it twisted. Paige needs one as well. Because when you think of the greats that played at UConn, and they got a lot of them, Rebecca Lobo, Tina Charles, Swin Cash, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Breanna Stewart. So, like, the name, I know I'm leaving some names out, but you get what I'm saying. All of those names I mentioned has a national championship or chips, plural, at UConn. Now, Paige is a exceptional talent, generational talent. For her to be in that conversation with those type of greats, she's got to get a national championship. And then again, you're playing at UConn. When you walk into that arena, all those banners are up. It's 11 of them motherfuckers. And you're playing for that school. You got to get a national championship. So she's got to do it either this year or she's going to be able to have to do it, try to do it next year because she'll have, again, another 5th year of eligibility. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I have no idea who I'm going with this game. Now, I know who I got for the first game. I got South Carolina. This game, I honestly don't know. I think both teams are very well coached. And they're very well stacked the way they need to be. But if you want me to give my answer right now, which I'm sure y'all want, because I'm sure y'all don't want me tap dancing. Because I don't tap dance for no damn body. Shout out to my man, B-High, Radio Shorty. I had to take your little slogan. But I'm going to go with UConn for the dub. I'm going to go with UConn for the dub. And it ain't just because I'm a UConn fan. The women's UConn. Don't really care too much for the guys, but I'm sure they're probably going to win the national championship as well. But I'm more invested in the UConn's women's team. If we're going off of the coaches, obviously I got to go with Gino. Way more experience. And I love Iowa's coach. No disrespect, but respectfully, I got to go with Gino. Okay? Then we take into account the team. I'm curious to see who is going to take that challenge to defend Caitlin Clark. And not for nothing, I think Paige is ready for that call. I honestly believe it's either Paige or Nika Mule. I believe either one of them two is going to take the reins of guarding Caitlin Clark. And I'm interested to see how this is going to go. I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out. But I got UConn. I got UConn because I honestly believe Paige is going to get busy. Aaliyah Edwards in the paint is going to get busy. You know what I'm saying? I think UConn is very well coached, and I also believe that when you have 3 players on your team that are looking to play 40 minutes, because UConn is short. In the work environment, you talk about short staff. Well, the UConn Lady Huskies are short staff. I believe they only got 7 to 8 players on their team because the majority of their players are dealing with injuries and they haven't played either most of the season or all of this season. So for them to be this short staff and for them to still be able to be in the Final Four, you gotta salute them. But I'm gonna go with UConn. I'm going to go with UConn to get the dub. I believe UConn will win this game. I believe it's gonna be a close one. It's going to be a close one. It will not be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be a catfight, but I'm definitely going with UConn to get the dub. So I got UConn and South Carolina in the national title game on Sunday, a rematch from 2021. We're going to have Gino versus Dawn Staley once again in the national title game. But I also want to speak on something else, and it's called the Caitlin Clark effect. It was just reported, I think about an hour ago, before I did this video, that the Las Vegas Aces, the current arena that they're playing in Vegas, I think that arena probably generates I want to say 10 to 11,000 fans. They have a game against the Indiana Fever, July 2nd, I believe. It was either July 2nd or June 2nd. They're going to have to change that arena. It's already been announced. They're moving that game to the T-Mobile Arena. That's where the hockey professional team plays. That's where the boxing matches are taking place. I believe that's the arena where they hold the Pac-12 tournament, even though it won't be a Pac-12 no more. Because that arena, the capacity is 20,000 people. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. That is the effect that she has put on the WNBA right now that she's announced that she's coming. There are 6 teams that do not play in arenas that are at the 20,000 or close to 20,000 capacity. That's the Vegas Aces. We just already said them. The Chicago Sky, the Dallas Wings, the Connecticut Sun, the Washington Mystics, and the Atlanta Dream. All 6 of those teams do not have an arena. Well, their current arena does not have a capacity of 18 to 20,000 people. Now, the other 6 teams, Liberty, Sparks, Lynx, Mercury, Storm, and of course the Fever. All of those teams have an arena that generates 18 to 20,000 fans. Now, I did my research. Those 6 teams that I said don't have that capacity, they're going to have to go to NBA arenas to do these games when the Indiana Fever come to town. The Chicago Sky, they play at the Wintrust Arena. They're going to have to move that game to the United Center. Okay? The Dallas Wings, they play, I don't even know the name of their arena, but they're going to have to move that shit to the American Airlines Center, where the Dallas Mavericks play. The Washington Mystics, I don't even know the name of their arena. They're going to have to move that to the Capital One Arena, where the Washington Wizards play. The Atlanta Dream, the arena that they play in probably only generates 3,500 people. Okay? I think the Mystics and the Dream, I think the arenas that they currently play in right now only generate 35 to 5,000 fans. Both of them is going to have to move their arenas to the NBA. So Atlanta is the Dream is gonna have to move theirs. They're gonna have to move their game when Caitlin comes to town. They're gonna have to move that to the State Farm Arena where the Hawks play. They're just gonna have to do it. They're just gonna have to do it. And then the Connecticut Sun, they play in the Mohegan Sun Arena. They might have to move that to where UConn plays. I think that's the XL Arena, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're gonna have to move that game there. Unless you want to move it and take it to Boston, where the Celtics play, in the Garden. Boston Garden, because we know the Garden, and that's New York. But, yeah, this is the Caitlin Clark effect. The Caitlin Clark effect. She is the reason why a lot of these teams are going to sell out games, especially when she comes to town. Because when she comes to Barclays, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit when she comes to Barclays. And guess who the Liberty play the first game of the season? The Fever. So that means we're going to get a first glimpse of Caitlin Clark versus Sabrina Ionescu. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But again, I just want to get off of this. I just wanted to do this little video. I wanted to come outside for this. I needed to. I had to show my handsome face. You know, don't worry. I'm going to start doing these videos more often. But for this one, I definitely had to do it. In the meantime, in between time, Sportswear with Dray podcast. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Those are the platforms that you can hear the audio. I'm going to start doing these videos more often. I'm going to try to start doing them more often. But to everybody out there, especially everybody in the tri-state area, be safe. Because I don't know if y'all heard, but, you know, us in New York, in the tri-state area, we all got hit with a 4.8 earthquake earlier. So I'm hoping that everybody out there is safe. Everybody stay safe out there. Listen, the ladies are going to steal the show tonight. They're going to steal the show tonight. And what's so crazy is, like, I've been watching shows, and they're not even really speaking about the men's Final Four. They're not really speaking about it. Like, all these shows, like Sports Center, First Take, Undisputed, all these shows, they're not really speaking about the men's Final Four. All the attention is on the women. And I've been saying this for about a good 3 years now, that the women are the main attraction for college basketball right now. They are the main attraction right now. So give it up for the ladies. That's all I can say, is give it up for the ladies. But again, catch y'all on the flip side. Stay safe. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here.